Katelina, you are Black and immigrant, right? And in this country, right? Amen. First generation. So
Yeah.
you come from immigrants. Just you're like me. My mom wasn't born here, but you speak with an accent, right? You can hear your Latinidad when you speak. When you are viewed in this country, right? Because you have to deal with the intersectionality of who you are, and then there is put not pushback, but there is a certain treatment from the Latinx community, and then from the Black American community and the white community, right? Which is it's taxing, right? When you think about it in this country, when you move around in your skin, what are some of the things you can tell me about your experience that will give some of the viewers and a look, just a little look, because the complexity is too much to say in a few minutes, but who you are and how that works in the world for you, having to navigate all of those spaces, because I think it is important for people to understand the reality of intersectionality, not just shout it out as a term that's PC, but really understand what that looks like and what it feels like.
Um, wow. As you've said beautifully, it is difficult to put that complexity into a few words, but I'll try. Claro, I am a Black Latina, and I'm proud to do so. And it's to be so, excuse me. And it's just interesting to me, like all of the different things that are forced onto me as an individual. For example, just today, shout out to Dash. She tweeted, I'm going to need people to stop pushing the rhetoric that, all Black Latinos didn't know who they were up until recently because it's a trend. Whereas I grew up knowing, I was Black my entire life. My dad actually got mad when my mom permed my hair. Like, my dad didn't want me to be like, certain, associating certain aspects of Latinidad, right? That's based in whiteness to myself. He was mad. And that was my reality, that there was never anything wrong with me as a person, pero si no, that, the world doesn't understand me and that that's okay. I thank God to my parents that they've taught me that from early on, because I can just imagine what it would feel like to grow up hearing tienes pelo malo, eres fea because tú eres prieta, and stuff like that. But granted, these are very valid emotions for Black Latinos to have, because this is the rhetoric, that is, popular within our community. Peínate, peínate, que pajón, like these are things that I haven't heard, but these are things that Black Latinos deal with. This is a reality for us. In addition to, I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, a city that is very segregated. In my experience, yo soy Panameña, but my accent, my Spanish is the Panameñan. It's very Dominican because I'm surrounded by Dominican. In my building right now, they're all Dominican. And I love my domis and I love my bodies, of course. Y me llevo mucho de ello. But, at the same time, I do hold true to what Panamanian values are. And I only say this to say that here in Boston, my experience has been, with African Americans, as long with Latinos, to ask me, am I sitting at the Black table or the Spanish table? Haha, Spanish. The Spanish table in the third grade, to paint you a picture of what my reality has been. In the third grade, third graders are segregating themselves in regards to, are they sitting at the Black table or the Spanish table? And so there's this dichotomy of, yes, me being Black in that Black American space, because technically I am Black American. I am American. I was born here. I am just, descendant of Panama and Jamaica. Pero también being Black in the Latino space and what that means and what it doesn't mean. There's multiple nuances that I can pull from. Essentially, the bottom line is Blackness is refuted in both communities at different levels and at different times. A lot of people, they try to make it convenient, which is why I've never, like, I have a blog out there. You can look me up where I talk about Afro-Latino, why? And I think I was like 18 years old, but I'm proud of myself for staying true to that rhetoric, because why are we constantly subcategorizing ourselves where these nations would not exist if it were not for the esfuerzos of los negros y los indígenas? Why? Why do we subcategorize ourselves? Yo soy negra. I have to create another category so you can understand where it is that I come from, whether I speak Spanish or not, whether I have an accent or not. Yo soy negra. I am a Black woman, and I'm proud to be so. And it's not a big deal. It has nothing to do with anyone else's reality but my own, which is why I laugh at, claro, there's white guilt. And that's part of the reason why a lot of people are trying to attach themselves to, this rhetoric or putting Afro-Latino in their bio and stuff, and that's fine. Tu abuelo es negro, you're proud of that, está bien. But how you walk in the world and how you're seen phenotypically. I have a big black nose. I have huge lips. I have melanin, like dark melanin. Tú sabes, don't let this lighting fool you. Yo soy prieta, you know what I'm saying? And I'm proud to be so, but also this affects how I move in the world. The last thing I'll say is, I was cracking up the other day because I was speaking to a music exec friend of mine who, unfortunately, he didn't understand, where it is that I was coming from. And sadly, I did bring up wanting to, have plastic surgery because I want to, and I don't have vergüenza to say so. And him saying, that's all in your head in regards to that. And he was gaslighting me. Fine, he's a man, he doesn't understand. But it was laughable to me for him to not understand that me as a Black woman moving in Latino spaces and the reasoning and why I wanted to do it, yes, for myself, but also for how I am perceived and accepted, that the way that we look doesn't affect the way that we are treated. It absolutely does. That is absolutely my reality, moving in music, moving, in social media, moving in every single aspect of my life, on the internet and off. The way I look, the way that I'm presented has a big deal with how I am accepted or not. So I hope that I touched on a lot of points.
I appreciate it. I think that with respect to the spectrum, when we have these conversations, I tweeted yesterday or the other day that, the white passing Latinx people, they enjoy privileges and they live a plush life. And then when white people remind them that you're one of them, then they want to come back to us. And then someone came at me and said, stop saying white passing. They are just white. Right. And I was like, white passing to me is not the same as white Americans, because there are some white people who have blonde hair and blue eyes who can barely speak English. And they are treated differently because they have accents from countries that are from Latin America, not treated like people who come from Russia or people that come from Poland, because that is higher on this hierarchy, right? They are treated differently. So when I say white passing, I'm talking about the people who you can see that can probably play a white role if they play it right? They do the thing that does the thing that makes them get the job. So that being said, there is a whole spectrum of Latinx people who are not Black and are not white passing. Mm-hmm. And we can't have a conversation about their oppression, because then it becomes erasure. And for me, it is important that we have the conversation about us all, because I don't get to if I get raped and a white woman gets raped, I can't tell that white woman that her rape is invalid because she's white. What I can say is they probably would treat your rape differently than mine because I'm not white. But that does not mean that her rape is not valid.